Hey guys, it's Cody Jones with Jangus Genetics LLC. I'm out here with the young bulls today. We weaned these bulls about 2 months ago, and they came off of mama on grass and right back out onto the pasture on grass. So normally we'll keep them up in the lot for about a week and a half on some decent quality hay, good mineral. And once they get the ball out of them, we get them back out on fresh grass as quick as possible. These are our fall-born bulls. We did have some pink eye problems this year, probably a little worse than we normally would. So there's a couple in here that we're going to end up little bee grass fed beeves, and one of these is an older bull that had a bad leg, so he's going to be our Christmas dinner. But other than that, those are the odd things that you'll see in here. Everything else I think is going to make a really good high quality bull, going to do all the things that we want to be doing. Good disposition, high fertility, going to wean profitable calves, low birth weight, low maintenance type of cattle, doing it all on fescue red clover. Haven't grained any of these this year, and so that will make a difference. If you're used to getting these seed stock catalogs, and you see these bulls, we can add 200 to 200 pounds on these smaller frame bulls. If you wean them early, start creep feeding them and those kinds of things. That's not what we're about. We're trying to grow them slow, grow them as fast as they'll grow on grass. We want to develop them slow, protect their feet and legs. We want to keep them rotating to keep them gentle, good dispositions. And the most important thing is that we want to make sure that they're all out of high quality cows that are doing it on fescue red clover, mineral, and a little bit of hay in the winter time. And they're going out weaning a profitable calf every year until they get into their teens. And so that's what our program is developed on, and we'll show you what these bulls look like. Another thing I want to mention is I have seen a lot of the grass based breeders, producers, a lot of the ones that I follow, the ones I bought my bulls from, they quit selling these younger bulls at 12, 15 months, and they carry them on up to 18 months. And I think there's good reason to do that. And for my personal use, I think a bull, if it can't go out and breed, 25 cows or heifers, 15, 16 months of age, I don't think they're probably gonna be, an asset to an operation. We're looking for that early maturing bull. Again, on a low input system. If you add grain, you can increase all of these things just because they've got more energy, more fat. They develop faster, and those kinds of things. But if you're just doing it on grass, you have to adjust your expectations on what you're getting. And I see a lot of these guys that are selling their bulls at 18 months. They're more developed. They're certainly not going to lose weight. They're just going to keep going out and gain weight when you turn them out on cows. They can handle more cows at 18 months. Grandpa used to say an 18, 24-month-old bull is going to be able to handle as many cows as he will in his lifetime. And I think that makes pretty good sense. The rule of thumb that I grew up with, again, just background in cattle a little bit, give them a little bit of grain, is bull ought to be able to handle about one female per month of age starting at a year. Now, of course, I've seen bulls and heifers, when you get that early maturing, you can get them bred as early as 8 months if you're not careful. So I did have some heifers that were 9, 10 months, and I weaned them and I left them in with the herd sire, and 4 out of the 6 of those got bred in about 10 days after I weaned them. A little bit of stress and just good grass, and just pop, they all came in, cycled, got bred, and there we went. So learned from that mistake. So these early maturing type of cattle can do it on grass, and I think these bulls, I wouldn't have a problem turning them out 10, 15 females right now, 15, 16 months. But then once they get up to 18 months, 25, 30 females is pretty well, industry standards, 25 females. If you do a good job of checking your cattle and you know what you're doing, 40 females wouldn't be a lot on a 2 to 4 year old, 5 year old, grass developed bull like we're trying to produce here. That wouldn't be a big deal. Maybe 50 if you didn't need them all to calve in 60 days. You let them go 90 days. I wouldn't recommend that, especially if you're new to this and you don't know exactly what you're looking for. But if you're going to preg check and you're trying to push your limits, I think this type of animal can help you with that. So anyway, we'll flip you around. We'll get you a better look at what you're here for. We're going to see a little bit of age variation here, but most of these bulls were born in September, October. We culled out the January calf, and I think the latest in here would be early December. And most of that you can tell by the ear tag. So this is number 18. He's one of the older bulls. A lot of that was just having some younger heifers and those kinds of things that just kind of cycled or got bred back a little late for their second time. And just looking over these bulls, this is kind of what I like to see if I was going to go look at a group of bulls like this. They're not running away. They're paying attention. They know I'm here. I haven't worked with these bulls a whole lot. Like I said, we just weaned them a month ago, and I haven't been rotating them real fast and those kinds of things. But they're pretty docile. I don't know of any in here that I could walk up and scratch yet, but you can watch my videos on gentle bulls for those kinds of things. I don't recommend a bull that you can scratch for too many people, but we certainly don't. We want a gentle disposition in the calves. We don't want animals that are stressed out when we walk into the pasture. But we also don't want them, challenging us or coming up and pushing on us wanting to be petted either. These are animals that can work in a smaller operation or a commercial operation. You can turn them out, no issues. And that's what we're trying to produce here. Just good dispositions that are going to make you money because their calves are attentive, they pay attention, but they're not running all over the place. That's what we want to try to do. These bulls are a little bit smaller frame score. It's another reason I think a lot of guys are going the grass-based operations or wait until 18 months. A lot of people are buying smaller framed bulls, breeding them to conventional cows, and then making really good replacement females in their operation. I think that's a good way to do it. And so I kind of want to have a few of those around, but my goal here is to kind of have the best of both worlds. I want them to be what I found in my environment works for me is about a 3.5 to 4.5 frame cow. You get up to 5. You get much smaller than 3.5, you're gonna your marketability can be challenged a little bit depending on what you're trying to do. So we've got some smaller frame, some a little bit bigger, but that 4 to 4.5 is kind of where I've kind of found my sweet spot. The cows can get bred back, perform on fescue red clover, and still wean a high percentage of their body weight, get bred back, and do it all again next year. And that's for my area, and that's kind of what I've been experiencing here in fescue red. We've got Kentucky 31 into fight infected, and so that's what we're dealing with. These bulls are just out on these fescue pastures. So what I'll do is I'll kind of, of course for me, I'm always looking at the moms, studying real hard, but I am going to pull a bull out of here for myself. And he's not necessarily going to be the best looking bull, but he's going to do, here he is, number 15. Mom ticks all the boxes, and for me right now, that's the most important thing. As long as the bull is, at least average. So we're always trying to increase our average from the cow herd perspective, and finding a bull that ticks all the boxes. It's definitely where we want to spend our attention and our time. And the most important thing about these bulls making maternal females is they got to have a maternal mom. So this is number 15. He's out of a cow with a tag number orange 10. I can post that below. This is 24 here. I think 25 is another standout that I might be looking at. But I know I need 15's for sure. For sure one that I'm going to keep. He's got a pretty good straight back on him. He's not the most impressive bull in here, but again, we're kind of, average or above average is just right above average is where we want to be. So as far as weight wise, he weaned, right above average. If the reason I don't look for the extremes is you got to take into account everything, and you might, not necessarily, depending on how you're culling, if you're just going out and picking in a bull, you pick the biggest. If all else being the same, you want to pick the biggest, heaviest, early maturing bull. But, you have to remember that milk and udder quality, a cow that has a lot of milk has the potential to wean a bigger calf. A cow with a bigger frame has a potential to wean a bigger calf if that you have a good feed year, and we've had a good feed year. You know, in a lower moisture year when we're not growing as much grass, higher frame cow is going to suck up more of those nutrients herself. A heavier milking cow is going to require more of those nutrients herself. She's going to have trouble getting bred back, and that's really what I'm paying attention to. We need cattle that can get bred back, and that's where, when we push those limits, doing it all on grass, you know, that's where they start to fall out, is when you get them too big, too heavy milking. Again, if you get them too small, you have marketing troubles. But we're just trying to breed good quality females that raise a profitable calf every year. So feet, legs, udder structure. This bull's got a lot of natural length to him. He's not super impressive right now. He's let's see, it's September 24th. So he would have been bred early in the calving season. His tag's number 15. He might be the oldest bull in here by a few days. You know, again, he's not necessarily the biggest, but that's okay. He's got good testicles. I wouldn't be afraid to turn this bull out with 10, 15, you know, similarly sized heifers. 30 to 60 days, I think he wouldn't have any problem on that. And the reason I want to keep a young bull on hand. So one thing I'm thinking about is I want to keep a bull, keep a few of my own bulls, use them for, you know, a year or two, and then I want to move those genetics on. So if you guys are out here, you're seeing a video of him now, you might get to see the changes on him in a year or two if he ends up turning out being what we want. You might even get a chance to buy him if you want him. So you know, he's got a lot of natural length to him. He's got good testicles. He's got a good disposition on him. He's just doing everything we want. He's got, you know, enough thickness through the rear, and again, you know, a couple pounds of grain a day for a month would add, you know, 150, 200 pounds to a bull like that. And why I mentioned the grain thing is because if you're sending your steers to the feedlot, or you're feeding out your own steers, that might be important to you. You know, we want to breed animals that perform, and not just in our grass-based low input type system, but bulls that you know, can go out and make money for you if you want to take them all the way to the end and you don't mind feeding grain, or you're going to sell them to a feedlot that feeds grain. Most of them do. So, you know, we don't want to miss out on that performance side. Even though we're producing maternal cattle, we still want to have as much growth as we can get out of our environment, and get those cows bred back. So there's a bull standing next to him here, out of a cow that I really like. I sold a half brother to my aunt and uncle out of him last year, and ended up being a really good bull. We ended up selling that bull out of that herd to a customer, but he's just a little more shaggy than I like to see. And I've got a herd sire that we be his grandsire. Nothing wrong with him. He shed out good. This bull is probably going to shed out just fine, but it's going to take him probably till he's 2 to really get that slick hair coat. He's just a little woollier than I think. I'm paying really close attention to that hair coat. I think he'll be fine, but I don't want all my calves looking like that, if that makes sense. And I don't know exactly what causes that. You know, there's lots of theories, and you know, he doesn't have a whole lot of testosterone kicking in. What was your number, buddy? 23. So he probably would have been a, you know, October bull. Out of a younger cow would be my suspicion. But she was trying to remember if it would be her second or third calf. But anyway, anything that stands out in a bunch, I heard at one time said that when you're walking into a pen of bulls and looking at them, it's really hard for most people to pick out the top one, but it's really easy to help people sort off the bottom 6. You know, you walk into a pen of 10, 20 bulls, that might help you out in the future if you're going to look at bulls like this. If you come here, look at bulls, you know, get them up in a bunch, sort off the ones that you don't like. But that bull, he's going to be an incredible bull. He's out of an incredible cow. He just doesn't have the same hair coat. And for me, being super particular, that's something I might, I don't know. It might keep him till spring and see what he does, because we're pretty well putting on winter hair coats now, so I don't know. The cow that he's out of, I think he's going to be exceptional. But you see this bull over here, he's got a really slick haircut, and you know, being in Missouri on fescue, I think there's potential for that to be more important. This 18 bull, I don't remember who he's out of, but he's kind of got a little wart on him. Younger cattle will get that; they'll build up immunity. We used to crush them or inject them with a wart vaccine when we were showing. But the only issue we've ever had is when they get turned into genital warts, and I don't know if that's the same thing. I've only ever seen one bull that we had that we culled for that. It was an extreme case, and that was 10, 15 years ago. But they had enough built up on his equipment that he was no longer serviceable. But that's a really weird one. A lot of cattle get 1 or 2 warts. You know, it's just a virus that's in the ground or in your facilities, whatever. Doesn't usually hurt them. If they get a bunch of them, you can crush a few, and that just a pair of pliers or a curry comb, and they'll build up immunity to it. The wart vaccine's just crushed up warts. Kind of on the gross side, but I've heard people crushing them up, putting them in their feed, inoculating the whole herd. So not something I worry about too much. But we want to make sure we're not passing that along, so we get him through the chute. We'll probably. So this is an example of something I'm not particularly excited about, but I think this 25 bull here is out of an exceptional cow, and he's a bull that would be my second pick, but I think he's just a little bit nervous. And I don't think that he's not unruly or anything. He just shies away. And I think he's got a crest on his neck. He's got a heck of awesome length, good set of testicles, and I think he'd settle down real quick, put him in a herd of cows that quit walking away. But and he's not running from me by any means, but just not exactly perfect. I like to have a bull that I don't want him to be a pet, but I don't want him shying away from me either. And again, when you put him in a bunch of cows, you won't have any issues. But I like my bulls to be pretty well attentive, intelligent, but very docile. Man, he's a good looking bull. He'll be for sale. He's my second pick. But if you don't need a bull that you can scratch, you just need a bull that's going to work. Give me a call on that one. There's a number 15 again. Just a good bull. He's right here. 18 keeps kind of showing off. He might be one I go back and look at his mom a little closer. There's a 24 bull in here that's pretty good too. And one of the reasons why I'm skipping over some of these other bulls is I want to make sure I'm using bulls out of my oldest cows, keeping them back. Here's 26. He's a good bull. I think he was out of a younger cow. And so there's 24. No, it's 26 is one I was thinking of. Good set of testicles on him. But for my own use, I want to make sure that I'm, proving my bulls out and providing my customers with consistency. And the best way that I think I can do that is by finding those proven cows and taking their genetics and throwing them back in the herd and multiplying that out as much as possible. And so that's, it's really what I'm trying to do with my own. Is I'm keeping like Dane and Duke, the 2 bulls that are my main herd sires now. They're out of my 10-year-old cow and a 7-year-old cow. 2 of my oldest cows, they've never missed. They're above average. Slightly, not a lot, but slightly above average on everything. Dane is out at my favorite orange 41 cow, and again, you're not supposed to have favorites, but if they do everything they've ever been supposed to do and then some, she's just a good cow. We want to continue to compound those genetics in our herd, so we kept calves out of him, bulls out of her. anyway, that's kind of, just wanted to show you through some of these bulls, kind of my top picks. And I'm not picking the best bulls. The downside of, you know, picking bulls out of your oldest cows is, yeah, they're proven, so you guys get the benefits, but you know, those as long as I'm doing my job right, those younger cows should have the better genetics. So these young bulls in here should be able to push a herd faster than what I'm doing, but kind of like the government. A fast government, I think, gets you in trouble. Our founding fathers designed our government so it moves pretty slow, and I think you want to, I don't want to be compared to the government, but you do want a seed stock producer that, on the maternal side, that makes slow moves. Slow, consistent, just getting a little bit better every year. Dane wanted to be on the video. He got jealous. So I got my two big bulls across the fence here. What we're gonna do pretty soon, these bulls will be for sale. I don't have them semen tested or anything now, but the grass-fed beeves, probably pull them out of here, and then I'll pick my two replacements. I know I need one, and then I've got a backup I'll need. And so, if you're wondering what these bulls turn into, a lot of these are going to be half brothers with our main herd sires here, Dane and Duke. We were using that golden era bull really heavily the last couple of years, and so found a tag. Never know what you're gonna find when you're walking around, but that's the difference that a year's gonna make. So as long as you're making sure that they've got quality forage, you know, these bulls have a lot of growing to do. They'll grow till they're 4 years old. Angus' website tells me they'll grow about 2 inches a year until they're 4. Later maturing bulls, if you're buying more terminal types, they'll go sometimes till they're 5. That early maturity that we're seeking in our bulls, what that means in our cows too, is the long bone growth is how the long bone growth stops. So might have heard somebody refer to the wedge shape or the red solo cup bulls. You know, a bull does his business, his fighting, his assertion of dominance, so they should be bigger in the front and get smaller as they go to the back. Think about a football player. You know, and a cow should be the reverse. Her business end is out the back. She's got to be able to, you know, carry a calf and deliver that calf without any problems. So you can see the two bigger bulls across the fence. I think I can't remember exactly. I think Duke is about to turn. He'll be 3 in April. I think Dane is just turned 2. So that's Duke, and that's Dane. And then these bulls just turning a year right now. So I usually turn bulls out about December 1st, and that gives me early September calves, September-October calves. That seems to work on my fescue red clover. Be pretty good for the health of the animals. And if you follow that same program, these and you need a bull, these bulls here, they'll be ready to go. Like I said, especially if you're looking for a young bull and grow them up into your main herd sire, I really recommend. You know, I wouldn't have a problem turning these bulls out with, you know, a bigger, older bull that you're going to replace next year, or you could, you know, they'll breed 10, 15, 20 heifers, and they're not real tall. So if you're going to go out there and try to change frame score on your big cows with them, you know, you might want to wait till they're 18 months, but they can do a lot more than you think they can, especially if you don't have them on level ground. But these Angus bulls, they're aggressive breeders. So Anyway, if you guys have any questions, or if I forgot to mention anything, or want to come take a look at them here in a couple months, get them semen tested, give them a breeding soundness exam, and I think all these bulls will pass right now. But like I said, we want to make sure we're giving them plenty of time. And I don't think it's great to overwork them either. I guess I would say that, you know, even if you could make these bulls go out and breed 25, 30 cows, wait until they're 18 months to get a little more frame on them, get a little more condition. You know, breed 10 or 12 now and then turn them out on a bigger bunch in the spring. I think that makes a lot of sense. I'll probably throw this 15 out on my spring calving herd, do a little cleanup, about 10, 15 heifers. We'll leave them in there until February, March. That way we don't have anything calving out of sync, and I don't have to handle the bulls over the winter. We're always all about, you know, being more efficient, having less labor. So that's my plan, kind of what I do with these bulls, doing with them this year, and planning on keeping them on grass, no grain, and just let them do their thing. So if you guys, like I said, if you have any questions or comments or thoughts, let me know. But like, subscribe, and follow along for more. Appreciate you.